If you love almonds like me, you're gonna adore this cake. It brings the almond flavor to another level. The filling is made with almonds and amaretti cookies. And amaretti are amazing Italian almond cookies. They are delicious. This cake originated in a very beautiful city called Verona in northern Italy. Verona, whose symbol is the arena, is known throughout the whole world for being the city in which it took place the famous tale of Romeo and Juliet from William Shakespeare. When you're there, you can go visit Juliet's house and see the famous balcony. Even if Romeo and Juliet never existed, people still love to go and leave love letters and love locks stuck to the walls of the courtyard. So it has always been considered a romantic city, the city of love. And by the way, I spent lots of time in Verona with the one that now is my husband when we were dating. So for me, it's personally really romantic. The city is famous for its rich history, stunning architecture, and the quantity of beautiful bridges around. It's also the birthplace of Pandoro, a very important traditional Christmas cake that is eaten from all families in Italy for Christmas. This delicious cake called Torta Russa, that means Russian cake. You can find it in all pastry shops around town. And it's very typical of Verona, like you don't really find it in other cities. That's the cool thing about Italian food, like some foods are very specific of small towns. And this cake is not very old. It was actually born in the 1950s. But why is it called Russian cake if it's a cake from this Italian city? There are two stories around that explain why this cake is called Russian cake. The first one said that there was a pastry chef that worked in the cruise ships. He fell in love with a beautiful girl that had amazing blue eyes, and so he created and dedicated this cake to her. And this is such a romantic story that goes perfectly well with Verona being a romantic city. Other people say that the name comes from the fact that the shape of the cake resembles the shape of the Russian hat. Let's go to the recipe. I'm gonna start breaking the eggs. Then I add the sugar. I beat the eggs with an electric mixer until they become whiter and frothy. Now I add the melted butter that cooled down a little bit. And then I add the magic almond extract. Now I'm gonna put the lemon peel. It's really a mix of amazing flavors and smells, like with the almonds and the lemon and the amaretti cookies. Wow! I add the flour and the baking powder. I add just a little bit of salt. Now it's time to chop the almonds to almond flour. Perfect. Now I break the amaretti cookies with my hands. They're a little hard, but it's kind of fun. Now I can add the almonds and the amaretti cookies. It smells delicious, seriously. I wish I could record how good it smells. And now I just need to mix everything really well. I can't wait to eat it. Okay, now I put it on the side. I put a piece of parchment paper on the table, and with a rolling pin, I open up a puff pastry sheet to a rectangle shape. Now I can put it inside a 9-inch round cake pan. I push it really well on the bottom and on the sides, and I can finally put the cake batter into the pan. I spread everything evenly. And now I can wrap up all the inside with the puff pastry. Just fold the inside very casually, without any specific pattern. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now I break an egg. I whisk it, and then I brush it on the puff pastry to give it a beautiful color. Now it's ready to go in the oven at 355 degrees Fahrenheit for about 15 minutes or until the puff pastry looks golden. The cake is now ready. I like to add a nice finishing touch by sprinkling some shaved almonds and adding some powdered sugar on top. The inside is very moist and soft, and the flavor is amazing. Your friends and family will love it.
Do you want that? Yeah.
What are you doing, Alessio? I told him he couldn't get this cake, but he got this.